Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing something that's not a fountain pen. It's kind of a pen, not a fountain pen. It is this. This is the Marksmith from Solbuilt. Solbuilt is a US based company that makes some really cool sort of like pens and EDC gear and that kind of stuff. I've got my hands here on the Marksmith, which is their titanium bodied Sharpie marker sort of pen thing. I'll show you all about it. But this is a nice simple box that comes in with their simple logo on the top, which I enjoy. Then you open it up and there is the pen sitting in a lovely foam bed there. Nice simple pen box. It also comes with a refill in that box. And this is the Marksmith from Solbuilt. You can see the Solbuilt logo there. And when you click the bolt, boom, you get Marksmith. And that gives a little bit of it away. It is a bolt action pen body. So I'm going to talk about the parts and features, a little bit about the refills, how to change them over. I'll do a little writing sample, talk about some pros and cons, all of that kind of stuff. Now, top of the pen. This is the DLC coated titanium body. This is the black matte version and is beautiful matte. It is really very, very lovely. Beautifully made, all of that kind of stuff. Simple, spherical end there, and then a very cylindrical body down to a nice tapered nose cone. The clip here has these three little notches on the end. It's screwed on quite nicely, but those notches provide just that little bit of friction to get that bolt working there. I enjoyed that a lot. When the bolt is enacted, you won't be able to see it on this camera, but you can see into the back of the pen body there, which is I think kind of cool. It's kind of like when you're at the theater and they take out the curtains and you see the back wall of the theater. It's kind of nice. It's really cool. You can also get them engraved. I got it engraved with ML there. So, bolt action. You depress the bolt, click it into place, and then you get the end there. And as you can see, this is a Sharpie marker. So this pen body takes the refill out of the retractable fine point Sharpie marker, which is very, very cool. Puts into a very, very robust body. You can also use the Sharpie retractable highlighter refill, and they have created an insert to allow you to use a Parker style G2 refill. And I'm going to show all of those and talk about all of those. It's a simple system and it works really beautifully. Now, I love Sharpie. I use them a lot. I've used their highlighters and their markers a lot over the years. This is a robust design. It's a strong material. It's well made. It's designed to be robust. It's designed to be able to be carried in your pocket or in your bag without fear of getting damaged. In fact, it'll do more damage to the other things. That's how well built this is. But it is a solid piece that allows you the stability to have something like a Sharpie marker ready to go on hand whenever you need. And if you're in a job that requires that, yet you've got to be, like say you're a builder or a construction person and a Sharpie's a handy tool to have on you, this is a great option. If you're someone like me who carries a lot of pens and pencils and highlighters and things like that for work, this is also just a really great way of leveling that up. And it gives it some permanence. And I don't know about you, but when I'm spending a few hours highlighting something, I have to highlight music a lot, or lyric sheets, things like that. This gives me the feeling like I'm using something that's really, really nice, and it makes it a pleasure to do. So that's the basics of the pen. Let's now talk about the refills. Okay, so firstly, down here is a seam to open up that nose cone. You can barely see it, it's so beautifully made, but if I just unscrew it slightly, you'll be able to see where that seam is. And that's where you replace the refills. So what are the refills? Well, you can buy this refill sample pack. This retails on the Solbuilt website for $15 US. And in that, you get a range of the refills that the pen can take. So as well as having one in the box with the pen, as you can see there, this is the Sharpie marker black refill that goes in the Sharpie marker, as well as having blue, green, red, and of course the highlighter version, which is the chisel tip highlighter. Now, I don't think you can buy just the refills, as in just this bit, commercially here in Australia. but you can buy them from Solbuilt, and the highlighters cost 2 for $6.99 US, and the permanent marker pens cost $5 US for 2 refills of the same color. So you can easily get them. You can also buy these retractable permanent markers and highlighters in Australia and probably just do a little mod yourself to get the refill out if that's what you want to do. They also have this, which is the pen refill insert, which costs $12 US. It comes with a Parker G2 refill. So they've created these 2 little ends. You've got the nose cone end here and the, what I'm going to call the knock end or the bolt end insert there, and they sit between the Parker refill and they make it fit the pen. I'll put that in just a second as well. As I've got the permanent marker one in here at the moment, so let's move those out of the way, and we're going to put the highlighter in a second, but let's do a little writing sample with these. So as I said, it's just simple little knock system there to get the nib out or the tip out. And this is the let's write it all out. So we've got the Solbuilt Marksmith. This is the black titanium DLC coated in the matte. Here we have the fine Sharpie retractable So as you can see, the Sharpie markers put down a really solid line. They're known for being reliable. They're known for having good performance in terms of the permanence of them. And it's a nice way of having these on hand. I really enjoy this, and I've used this quite a lot actually in the last couple of days as the permanent marker. I find it very useful, and I've found it fun to sort of be able to mark up, boxes and things like that. But let's now put the highlighter in it just so you can see that in action. So simply took the nose cone off, take out that refill, then you put the refill in, and you screw that down. Once again, simple click of the bolt system, and then we have the Sharpie chisel tip. Chisel giving you the fine line as well as the broader line. These are a lovely highlighter. I enjoy them a lot. They work well over ballpoint. In fact, once I've put the pen in there, I'll just do a quick sample of it with the highlighter as well. But that is the Sharpie highlighter refill here in the Marksmith by Solbuilt. Let's now put that ballpoint in so you can see what I'm talking about with it. So once again, take that refill out, and then we get that knock end in there, nose cone end in there. Simply slide that in. A little bit of resistance there on the spring. Screw it down onto a nice, there's a little O-ring, I'll show it just there at the end of the section, which screws it down nice and secure and tight, and then locked into place. And there's your pen. So this is a Parker G2 refill in the Marksmith. Now this does make it quite a large pen in your hand in terms of like a ballpoint pen. And I'll go through the dimensions in just a second as well. But once again, it's that sort of comfortable size, comfortable big size, and it's got some nice substantial weight to it, which makes it feel really good in the hand as well. And now I'll put the highlighter back in just to show it over the top of that ballpoint. Yeah, it's nice. Now, what are the dimensions of the Solbuilt Marksmith? Well, it's 143 millimeters when it is not, when the nib is retracted, and then 146 when it's out. So it's a nice size. It's a good length, it's not small in the hand at all. And the width of the pen is about 14 millimeters around. Now, a big issue with this pen for some people will be the weight. It weighs 49 grams, which is a considerable weight, especially for something like a Sharpie marker or a permanent marker. But you are talking about something that's super robust and something that's going to really stand up to the rigors of being used every day. Just for the sake of the exercise, I'm going to do a little size comparison here. I will use a fountain pen for my fountain pen buddies, so you get a bit of a sense of the scale of it. And then I've got here a Pilot G2 pen, which is a fairly standard size, sort of retractable pen. You can see it's just a little shorter. Actually, I'll turn that around so we get all the tips at the same end. You can see it's a little shorter than the Pilot G2, and it's about the same length, maybe a touch longer there than the Lamy Safari fountain pen when it's posted. Then with the tip engaged, it's about the same length as the G2, which is great. It's a good size pen, longer there than the Lamy Safari, and when you post the Lamy Safari, it gets longer. So just to give you a sense of where it fits in terms of scale. So I've spoken about the price of a range of elements to do with this. The pen refill costing $12 US, the Sharpie permanent marker refills being 2 for $5, the sample pack being $15, or the highlighter refills 2 for $6.99. But what is the price of the actual pen? Well, this particular version retails for $119 US as I go on the website today. So it's not an inexpensive option. It's more expensive than a lot of bolt action ballpoint pens, but with this you get the versatility of the Sharpie marker, you get the versatility of the highlighter, as well as, a fairly sort of standard size pen refill. So if you wanted to use it as a pen, you're looking at about $131 US, so you can get that refill insert as well. Not too bad. Let's talk about some pros and cons. Firstly, this is not a subtle pen. For some people, this will be too big. It's heavy, it's thick, it's kind of noisy, it's not a subtle pen, but it's not designed to be. Another issue for some people might be that it's quite slick. Now, this matte finish is going to be slicker than some of the more plain titanium versions and things like that, but I don't find it to be too bad. But if you have a problem with sort of pens getting a bit slick under your fingers, this may be one to think about choosing the right finish for you. Now, something that I want to address is the slackness. I'm going to go back to the permanent or to the Sharpie marker refill. Okay, so I've gone back to the Sharpie refill now, and it's not so apparent with the highlighter. It's not so apparent with the ballpoint. In fact, it's not at all apparent with the ballpoint refill, but there is a little bit of slackness there in the mechanism. Now, that is intentional. It's on their website. It is intentional. It's intentional because, and I'll show it on the highlighter one here because I've got it just here with me. You apply the slightest bit of pressure, and this is where it engages, and then it doesn't take a whole lot for that to open, and even a tiny bit, the tiniest little bit open, and this will dry out. So they've just built in the slackness into the mechanism just to allow the Sharpie pen not to dry out between use accidentally, like if the clip gets caught on something or accidental pressure or whatever. But what are the pros? Firstly, you've got something that is a nice size and weight. If you like big pens, if you like heavy pens, if you like your pen to feel substantial in your hand, this is a really, really great option. I love the convenience of being able to have a Sharpie marker in this format, or a highlighter in this format. As I said, I use highlighters a lot for work, and I'm at the moment using Sharpie markers to label a whole lot of boxes and things like that, and postal packages and that kind of thing. This is great for that because it's always there ready to go. And also then being able to switch it out to the pen version when I want to take it on the road and things like that. It's great. I love the build quality, like the seamless nature of that nose cone seam there. The fact that all the finishing is done beautifully. They've thought out things like that little ridges on the clip, and that the clip is super sturdy. It's solid. It's from a solid piece of titanium, so it's not going anywhere. And I love this finish, this matte black satin finish. Like when I was choosing which one I wanted to get, it was an absolute no-brainer for me. This is completely on brand for me. I also quite like the fact that it's a simple design. There's not a whole lot going on with it. It's, rounded end, cone, clip, nice bolt action, some nice little details like Marksmith coming up there and the Solbuilt logo appearing there, and simple engravings and things like that. But it is relatively simple, and I really enjoy that. But also, one thing that has to be said is the refills for this pen are great. The Sharpie highlighter and permanent marker refills are excellent. They are truly excellent. The permanent markers, as I said, perform well, they're reliable, and they are affordable. The highlighters do the same thing. You know, there's not a whole lot of smearing. They're very clean, simple products that prove themselves time and time again. And then if we're talking about ballpoints, the Parker G2 refill in itself is a classic. It's got a nice pigment ink in it, a nice ballpoint action. It's simple, but also, as I said, super, super versatile. There are a bunch of brands that make refills in this size. So if you're not into the Parker one, there are Schmidt. And with a tiny bit of modification to the spring, you can get the Fisher Space refill to fit in this pen. It's just slightly narrower here, so you just need to adjust the spring just a little bit, so it's just a little bit tighter at that point. But in saying that, you can make it do the job. So there's lots and lots to like about the Marksmith from Solbuilt. I really enjoy it. Like looking at that writing sample again, the Sharpie marker does a solid job. Like not for paper, obviously, like it's gonna have eaten right through this paper. But in terms of being a super robust and convenient body for something that a lot of people use all the time, and just heightening that experience of using it, this is a really cool option. And it's just a great looking product. So a big thank you to Solbuilt for sending this and all the refills and all that stuff out for me to look at in this video. I have really enjoyed it, and so I've been getting a lot of use out of it. I'm going to continue to with some projects and things I've got happening at the moment in my life. So this is a great, great asset. So check it out. If you're not familiar with Solbuilt, and this is the kind of gear you're into, check out their website and Instagram and all that. They have some really cool stuff. Thank you for watching, and like and subscribe. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, let me know. Or if there's a way you would like to support the channel, I would absolutely love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, whatever they may be, and I'll talk to you soon.